What's going on, guys? Bonafide Hustler here.
Rake and Profit in the house. What's going on, everybody?
And the college picker.
All right, so we have a little bit of audio difficulties. What's going on? Welcome to the 10 Ways to Getting Active Now show, hosted by the Green Room Life. Anyway, does it sound okay, Raken, now?
Yeah, it sounds good now. There was like a little crackling right when we started, but I think it went away, so we're good.
Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, basically, if you guys are wondering, what is the Green Room Life show? What is it? What are these? And I start seeing them on Tuesday mornings. Like, explain this real quick. So we have a primary group called the Green Room. It's a paid Facebook group where we teach people how to make money buying and reselling stuff from garage sales, yard sales, estate sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, all that kind of stuff. And it's a private group that has about over 900 members. There's a subgroup called Green Room Life, which is all the stuff that's outside of the money talk. And so these Green Room Life shows are always going to be, something like diet, fitness, motivation, things like that. So if you're coming from an outside source and just seeing this, yeah, it is part of our business model. And I would say a solid third of our members are definitely into, interested in getting active or more active or improving their lives, Anyway, I'll introduce Raken on the panel right now. We have Mr. Steve Raken. You're muted.
Yeah, what's going on?
And we have Eric Spears on the panel, also known as the College Picker.
Howdy, howdy.
Okay, and so yeah, we'll make sure that the sound check is good. I'll ask the people in the feed out there. We have 13 viewers right now. If you're watching Tuesday morning, it's likely it's a live show. So definitely you can put a comment on the right part of your screen. There's a scrolling part. So if you have any questions that relates and it's pertinent to these 10 things we want to discuss with you, put it in there and we're pretty much bound to see it. So anyway, 10 ways to get active now. How important, Raken, how important is getting active? And I mean, you recently came back from what seems to be a semi-active little trip that you didn't really tell many people about, but how important was it to get out, get on your bike and like start reflecting a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, it was really important. I don't want to dive too deep into like the personal reasons of like, because I've kind of had some things going on behind the scenes. But going like getting away for like 3 days and getting active like helped a lot. Like I'll give you a hint. It kind of had to do with like anxiety and stress. So, in business and life, I mean, we get stressed out. There's so many things that we have to deal with, not only in business, like I said, but, finances and family and relationships. And, you're going to get stressed out. So for me, getting away, and I ended up going to Newport, Rhode Island. If you guys have never been there and you're in New England or in the area, check it out. It's a beautiful town. But it was really important for me because it was a small little town. I got myself a hotel for 3 nights and I brought my bicycle with me, and pretty much I didn't go into my car for 3 days. I left it parked and I rode my bike everywhere and just breathing the fresh air and, pedaling around town and walking places. I mean, it's a great stress reliever. And for me personally, like I love like just getting outdoors and breathing the fresh air and getting active and walking around, and it relieved a lot of tension. Like I was super stressed out and like anxious about different things going on in my life. And when I came back, literally, like when I left, I was like a 2 or a 3, 1 through 10. And when I came back, I was like a 9. Like I felt so much better. Like just, I don't know. Can you guys relate with like just getting outdoors and just like if you're feeling stressed out and just breathing that fresh air and getting active and sweating? Can you relate to that? Like just feeling better?
Steve is asking us, Eric, if we can relate to the outdoors. That's like our whole entire lives is being outdoors. But Eric, you just came from a bike trip, right?
Yeah. I did 4,500 miles over like 7 months because I had split it up. Like
the green room, a little bit.
The Green Room hangout was in there where we met up in Austin. So I was there for like 2 weeks, hung out with a friend in Colorado Springs for 2 weeks, went to Thailand for 3 weeks. And then went to work for 2 months. So I had split up a bunch of things in between the bike trip, but kept riding and made it all the way to San Diego at the end.
Yep. And I can confidently say that, honestly, if you're in the entrepreneurial mindset or if you work for yourself or you're about to work for yourself, I guarantee you that the stress and the anxiety and all that kind of stuff, there's going to come up to a point. There's going to be a breaking point because when it's you against you and, there's no more boss and there's no more 401k. There's none of that kind of stuff paying you in the background. You really have to come at it as hard as you can. And that can cause a lot of stress. So it's not uncommon for people that are entrepreneurs or people that work for themselves, building their own stuff to eventually find out, sometimes through really bad ways, like that you can't handle everything. You just can't do it. So it's very important to get active. I think that's one of the reasons how you can decrease stress, because stress is, everyone say it's the unseen killer, right? It's the one thing you can't really quantify, but it's one of those things that if you get active, you greatly increase your chances of longevity and reduction of stress, which, being the silent killer, I would say that's the one you really want to hone in on. You want to hone in on like reducing. So let's go into number 1, 10 ways to get active. Now, I think number 1 is so obvious, but we have to say it. We live in a society where things are so obvious, but you have to understand the reasoning behind number 1. What do you think number 1 is, Eric?
Well, considering I have it printed out in front of me.
Well, I don't have it. I can take a wild guess.
Okay. Go ahead.
The question was like, what form of getting active?
Yeah, like 10 ways to get active right now. Like, what would be your number 1 suggestion?
Go out for walks, because I think anybody can do it.
It's on there.
Okay.
That's not number 1 though, huh?
That's not number 1. That's cool how like one of us has two of us have the outline and one doesn't, but this is good, so that you're going to be playing the role of like the feed right now, Reagan.
Yes.
So the people in the feed, I wonder if you guys know, and like I said, this is a live show, so this is very engaging type thing. We look into the comment feed and all that kind of stuff. What do you guys think it is? So Eric knows what it is. I think it's really obvious, and all 3 of us, Eric, in the past year, you've really done this a whole lot, or actually in the past 4 months. Reagan in the past year has really done this a whole lot. I have been doing this since I was a junior in high school.
Dude, how much money, if you added up all the monthly costs, do you think it would have been?
Honestly,
like over 20 G's?
It could be. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot, but honestly, like I can't tell you the amounts of experiences it has opened up for me, right? So the answer is joining a gym. All right, joining a gym is really important, because I see something in here that says exercise, and exercise is so blanketed. Like if I tell you, hey, you know what? The key of staying active is just exercise, right? You're going to be like, I don't know. Like that's great, but like, where do I start? So a gym is a good place to start, because you're around a lot of other people that sometimes are beginners, intermediates, or experts. And they're all in this one place, whether you want to lift, play racquetball, swim, run around the track, get into the studio with the punching bags, or do a Pilates course. Like they're all there, right? And it's one of those places where weather can't affect it either. How much can weather affect your cardio, Reagan? Like you being in the northeast of the country, right?
Yeah, I mean, big time. I mean, just for example, when I was on my little trip, like you don't know how much clothing I had to wear just to go on bike rides and like take walks. Like I was bundled up from my head to my toes. Like, and there's times, I mean, yesterday it was raining out, it was slushy out. Like I had to go into the gym. Luckily I didn't have a car yesterday. My car had broken down, but I had a gym in my community. Went over there. I mean, if it wasn't for my gym in my community, I'd be screwed. But there is one thing you can do. I don't know if you want to talk about it now. If you want to get workouts without going to a gym, should I touch on that?
Yeah. You talking about the
FB?
Fitness Blender. That's pretty good on
FB. Yeah. When I hear FB, I'm thinking Facebook. Yeah, you can do home workouts as well. So like, for example, if I didn't have a gym locally in my community, because I typically go to LA Fitness, I would have popped on at FB, which is Fitness Blender, which just like how we're on YouTube right now talking about getting active, there's people on YouTube who will actually do like 30-minute workouts, like live, right? And like you just mimic them, there's times, I can't tell you how many times I've been right in the middle of this room with my laptop where it is and got the workout on, and I'm doing like a home body workout. So that's another great solution.
That's right. So basically, joining a gym, you get around like-minded people. There's always a success in numbers kind of thing. It's almost like a little active mastermind group if you think about it, right? You get around people that are doing things, doing certain movements, and you can go up to people and no one's going to be a jerk, like for the most part. I like to say spend up for a gym. Like don't try to get those really, really super cheap gyms, because I think people, A, don't know what they're doing in there half the time, and B, you get a lot of like people that they put their ego before their body. They put their ego before the exercise. You spend up a little bit, and you can get around some really good people that not only will help you with your lifestyle and activity, but they'll also help you in other ways in life. Like maybe it could be a job opportunity. It could be all kinds of stuff. You can meet the greatest people in the gym and you would never know. But like I said, most people, when they think about a gym, they're like, oh, it's weights and like, I'm going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger type stuff. And I don't want that. That's not what it is. Like a gym is a place that's, regardless of how the weather is outside, it's a place where all these people that want to get active get together and they do a bunch of different things. Okay. In fact, today I'm actually visiting a second gym because I already have a primary gym membership. I have a 3-year contract and I love it. But I'm visiting a second gym that's even closer to my house that has even more amenities, and it's probably going to be like $80 a month.
What types of amenities are you talking about?
The main amenity that it has that I really, really like, there are two. One is it has a full-blown like rock climbing like setup wall, everything like full-blown.
Oh, so it's like a rock gym.
Not bouldering, like true like belays, like auto belays and all that stuff, like straight up. It's really cool. I've been there before. So that's one of the things. It has a running track on the top, like a really big one that encompasses 3 basketball courts. It's pretty big. And then the last thing that it has that I really like, it has Olympic swimming pool, like distances. So that's pretty cool.
Dude, that's like a university gym.
Dude, it's like it's amazing, but it is $80 a month. So anyway, outside of that, it is the best in town. It happens to be like 2 miles from my house. Okay, so number 2. The suggestion to get active right now is buy a bike, like Raken was talking about. Bikes are great. Like, how much more, how do I say it, Raken? Like, how much more unmotivating would it be if you had to run to all these places?
Oh, man, yeah. A lot more. I'll put it this way. It's a lot more pleasurable to ride versus walk or jog. I don't know. You could cover that much more ground. And, when I had my bicycle and I was on my trip in Newport, Rhode Island, I was more inclined to go out further and explore, various locations that were deeper out because, when you're on foot, you're like, and it's really cold out. It was like 30 degrees. You don't want to go out too deep because you've got to come back. When you're on a bike, I mean, you can make ground. And if you're lucky, I mean, Eric, talk about how nice it is sometimes to travel a lot of ground going downhill.
Oh, when you're flying downhill, it's just a complete different experience. I actually hit 43 miles per hour going downhill.
43 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And what length of distance was this over?
I mean, that was my top speed, so I just hit it, and then I went back down to 40, but I was trying to just hit a top speed. I hit 43, and it was just on a downgrade after a mountain range going into San Diego.
Is there a certain speed that like you have to be scared of like going too fast because your wheels
I think a lot of people
would
have been scared at that, but it was fun. It was
cool.
Really fun. With cars and everything.
So you were coming out of the coastal range. I know what you're talking about.
There's this mountain range.
Yeah. I know that.
Right before San Diego. I forget what it's called, but
it's very long though too. It's like extremely long downhill.
Oh yeah, it was great. We did probably about 15 or 20 miles of straight downhill.
That's
like
insane.
I think the last day was like 4,500 feet of descent or 3,500 feet of descent.
15 to 20 miles downhill?
Yeah, it goes by pretty fast though. Like I've been down it like in normal cars. I've been down it 120 in a minivan. Like it lasts forever, man. The downhill is forever, dude. But yeah, really cool. I've been many times to San Diego. I know exactly what he's talking about. But for all that downhill, you have to go up it too. So that probably took a solid day of climbing for a CP.
Yeah, there was one day where I went like 30 miles with 4,500 feet of climb or 3,000 feet of climb, something like that.
With how much gear on your bike?
Panniers and water, probably about 50 pounds.
Isn't that
was
crazy?
Cody there for that?
No, Cody wasn't there for that part, but he did some climbs himself. He did some climbing. I don't think he did the mountain range, but did some good stuff.
So the other reason why you want to buy a bike and why it's important to have one in your arsenal is it's also low impact. Like it's a low impact kind of thing, improves circulation. But yeah, a bike is never going to give you, unless you have to adjust your seat. The most important thing you do when you buy a bike is make sure you adjust your seat appropriately. I can't tell you how many people I see riding bikes that don't have their seat done correctly, and it's going to lead to a lot of I don't know, how do I say it, knee problems, all that kind of stuff later on down the road. You really want to make sure that you optimize your seat height when you get a bicycle. Eric, is that probably one of the most important things?
Yeah, if you're trying to avoid injuries, you don't want to be too cramped, you don't want to be too stretched, and that's like the most simple adjustment that you can make. I mean, just riding with flat tires, you're just going to be expending energy, but having the wrong seat height, you could actually be hurting yourself.
Yep, that's right. All right, so
Another thing with
go ahead.
bikes, if you're in a really hot climate, bikes actually cool you down because you're going at a fast enough speed to be evaporating sweat off of you, so it doesn't feel nearly as hot when you're riding in like 85 or 90 degree weather. When if you're walking, you feel that heat, you don't want to do it. So biking does have this cooling effect that walking, running doesn't.
That's right. So number 3, I like learn an activity app, which means there's so many apps out there that are activity based. They can help you count your steps. You can do distance track. There's so many things you can do with these activity apps. I even think the iPhone comes with one that's stock, if I'm not mistaken. Same with Samsung. I think it's like S Fit or Samsung Fit or something like that. But these activity apps are really cool. I'm on one called Strava. Like if you're a cyclist, you get on this one called Strava, which is pretty cool. It rates you against all your other friends that are on Strava that are doing certain parts of mountain biking tracks in your city, as well as road biking tracks around your city. So it's fun, and you get to see times and distances. It's a very interesting type app. But check if you're into cycling, you have to check out Strava, Strava. But an activity app is really important, and an activity app can help you. And some of these are so smart to where they know if you're cycling too, which is interesting. Eric, have you ever seen those type of apps?
Yeah, Cody was using Strava the whole time during the bike trip. I had never heard of it before that, but it's just like a cycle computer on your phone that drains your battery, but you can like compete with a bunch of people.
Yeah, you can compete with anyone else that has been in those areas before.
But there's also like this whole thing, people are saying it's dangerous because people are like blowing through stop signs and stuff.
Yeah, there's all kinds
of
stuff.
Trying to beat other people. But if you use it responsibly, then you shouldn't have a problem with it.
That's right. So definitely look into doing a activity app. It's probably on your phone already. Just
even Pokemon Go would get people out and walking. That when that game came out, a lot of people were walking. I remember reading an article about a dude who lost like 10 pounds in 2 weeks playing that game.
Yeah, you can do that for sure too. I think it's kind of getting towards its end though, honestly, this Pokemon thing. I don't hear much about it, but I know what you're talking about. Number 4, this is a very interesting one. This is probably going to hit some people pretty hard, especially at this time of the year, but consider this maybe next year. But ditch sports like watching sports. If you're a closet like sports addict and you know all these stats of all these people and all this stuff, and you're always around friends and bars and pubs and you're eating all this food, I mean, this watching sports, like chronically watching sports, betting on them, all that kind of stuff is really, really, really counterproductive when it comes to getting your goals, when it comes to activity and body, all that stuff. So I've learned to ditch sports like way long time ago. In fact, I was never raised with sports, but of course I went to UT Austin, Longhorns, had to get into it for a little bit, but that lifestyle of sporting events and team sports is very sedentary. How do I say it? Eric, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and to be clear, we're talking about watching sports, not playing sports.
Yeah, definitely like chronic watching of sports. I know a couple friends that like this year they stopped, going to, was it FanDuel or whatever? They stopped doing all that, stopped betting on fantasy stuff, and they stopped watching most of the games except for like the absolute team that they love the most. Like they would watch every now and then a game. And now, they're like, yeah, just better this way, man. It's just like not as stressful. I'm fishing more, like I'm outside more. It's just, you'd be surprised with all that time what you can achieve in your life. So just remember, like, if you're sitting there going like, no way, like I have to watch sports, no way. Cards are kind of stacked against you when it comes to that kind of stuff, because it always brings people together. Everyone's always sitting down. There's always beer. There's always salty snacks and chips and queso and dip and all that. And all these things come together eventually one day. And before you know it, you're going to, you'll look at yourself in the mirror and go, man, what am I doing with my life? But you have to understand some of the things that are leading to those things. Raken, do you have any insight on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you love watching sports and that's your thing, I mean, if that's what you love, then do it. Just know there's going to be consequences. If anything you do over excessive and it's chronic and it's, you're not keeping a balance, right, you're gonna face some adverse effects. So I mean, if you are into watching sports, I would say, have some healthier snacks, maybe some carrots or some different dips that aren't so salty and fatty. But get outdoors. I mean, I think that's it. Bottom line. I mean, if you're big into watching sports, I mean, that's fine. You know, everybody loves doing different things, but you know, when you're sedentary, is that the word? When you're,
Oops.
is that how you pronounce the word, sedentary?
Yeah, sedentary.
So when you're sedentary and you're just sitting and you're just not doing anything, I mean, there's going to be consequences. Your muscles are going to get achy. You're going to get lazy. Don't you ever find that? Like, I don't know about you guys when you work, but I work way better when I'm standing. Like if I'm sitting, like I get relaxed, I get lazy. I feel like watching sports and being a couch potato, it you know, it flows over to other things.
It's
You're
true,
not-
dude. They pull the chairs out of Walgreens and CVS so we don't sit down because we're more productive when we stand. Even though we complain about standing for 8 or 10 or 12 hours
Yeah,
a day,
so,
you are more productive. And your feet
Yeah.
kind of hurt at the end of the day too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so definitely consider that one. Ditch sports. I mean, I can look back at all my friends that still watch a whole lot of sports, and it's like they're all about the same, man. I'm not saying I look down on them or anything, but they're all about the same. They're just, you know, they kind of have like an average, you know, they work out, they got average builds, and they're kind of like, eh. And then they're just not outdoorsy people, man. It's like they find themselves in malls and they find themselves in indoor spaces a whole lot more. You can tell the people that really do something with their lives and they're actually like outside a whole lot. It's like you never see sports in their feed anywhere. Like you barely ever see it like anywhere in their Facebook pictures or nothing. It's just they're outside all the time. Pick which one you want, but like Rakin said, anything with an excessive amount of abuse has adverse consequences usually. Number 5 is hike. This is good because this is very low cost, low barrier to entry.
I love
right?
hiking.
Yeah, and like okay, so let's talk to Rakin and CP about this. Eric, what is a hike to you?
My idea of hiking is probably much different than your
I
guys'
know, that's the
idea
thing,
of
like,
hiking.
That's true.
When I think of hiking, I think of getting a like 55 liter or 45 liter and up backpack, filling it up with food, filling it up with your gas stove, putting your sleeping mat, your tent on there, going out for at least 2 or 3 days.
Mine's a complete opposite spectrum. Mine is driving over to a local park. You can walk into a little bit of woods, but if there's like some little dirt paths and I'm going through the woods and, you know, maybe there's a sign that says turn left to the waterfall, like that's a hike to me. Like a more active hike is going to a mountain, right? But for me, maybe I'll have a backpack on, but no 40 whatever liter water. I'm not, you know, bringing bear mace and all that.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, a hike is what you make of it. I mean, a hike is technically what Rakin's talking about. It's technically definitely what Eric is talking about.
There's a spectrum of it. You could go out for it's a day hike. They're called day hikes. They're not really hikes. They're day hikes if you're going there and back in the same day. And then there's multi-day hikes where you could go from like Georgia to Maine, or you could go from like Mexico to Canada or Canada to Mexico.
And there's
It's
also
like
the whole
crazy
elevation thing because it becomes a walk, but then you throw in rocks and elevation. Now you pretty much have a hike.
Oh yeah.
You know, like elevation gain, like not significant, but any type of elevation gain and then decline elevation gain where your body is off axis a whole lot, like that's definitely a hike for sure. So you can get those things in your city. Like almost every city's got something, okay? And you're gonna have to go find it. But yeah, definitely taking a hike is pretty cool. And definitely call a friend if necessary, because you know,
or bring the dogs.
Yep, or bring the dogs.
Someone was mentioning in the comments section, telling people to get out with fitness groups on meetup.com.
That's my next one, man.
Yeah, we were getting to that.
Really?
The gun, dude. Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm the guy without the outline.
Number 6 is
a
join
member of the audience.
Yeah, that's how
Body
number 6
count.
is. Join an active group. Number 6, meetup.com. Exactly what I wrote down.
Wow.
Find a group of people that are doing exactly what you want to do. And when you go with meetup.com, I've hung out with groups from meetup.com, and it's fun. There's some beginner ones, there's some intermediates, and I've joined expert ones, and it's pretty interesting, the gambit. And usually if you join one group that's like something, let's say it's mountain biking Austin, for example, they'll show you different rides that are going out. Like there might be a beginner ride, no drop, which means they ain't going to drop you in the back. Like you're not going to get lost in the woods. There's some like super advanced, right? And there's all those. There's hiking ones. I've seen those before. I've done a couple of those. There's all kinds of ones. But if you're thinking about and you want to get around like-minded people, whether it's yoga, Pilates, you want to do some hiking, you want to do frisbee golf, right? Meetup.com is a wonderful place to start up, and that's where they go and they all meet up and they do something, right? And then after that, they kind of go to a cafe, a coffee house, or get some beer. So it's kind of interesting. So you get really good camaraderie.
go watch some sports.
Yeah. No, but some of them are really crazy active. Some of them go into like leagues. They have tournaments and stuff within their own like little thing. So, but meetup.com is interesting. And meetup.com is not just an active kind of thing. Like meetup.com, you can find groups that are entrepreneurial based, that are into wine tastings, that are into everything that you ever wanted to like mess with, like role playing, MMORPG, whatever. All that's there.
LARPing.
Yep, you can LARP if you want. Like they got everything there. Even like ice hockey. If you're in a very hot climate, there's a ice hockey rink. I guarantee you there's a meetup.com like group for that ice hockey rink. So just think about it. Meetup.com is really good. Number 7. This one's really interesting. This one's called Power of Empower. I'm going to try to explain this one, or I can let CP explain it a little bit. College Picker, you want to explain Power of Empower?
Is that just kind of making things convenient for you? Yeah. The like looking at your shoes, or keeping a clean pair of shoes in your car, maybe, or a change of clothes in your car. So if you're like passing the gym, you could just go there and like right then and there, instead of having to go home. And like the more steps you put into getting somewhere, the less likely you're going to do it. So if you hang your bicycle in the corner of the garage on the hooks, locked up, you're going to not use as much as if it's like in the garage, tires pumped, like ready to go, bang, bang, boom, but get it out of here.
That's right. That's the first thing when you open my garage. It's bicycles. The very first thing are bicycles, sticks to go skateboarding with, skateboards, and wake related stuff, like for lake stuff. But at the tail end of my garage is my gym and like my eBay business and all that kind of stuff. But like Eric's saying, is like the power of Empower is basically making things convenient. Like one of the very first steps for power of empowering, right? You're empowering like what's really important, what you want, and you're depowering what you don't want. So like, let's say you want to get more active and you want to quit smoking. So take the cigarettes and put them at the second story of your house somewhere in the most distant corner possible. And, if you spend all your time in the bottom story, and then take your running shoes and your gym gear and your gym bag and put that right next to your bed. So you wake up in the morning, boom, get right into your socks, right into your shoes, right into your shorts. Make sure your keys are right there by the door and you're not searching around for anything, and put the cigarettes at the most inconvenient. You can even lock it up. You have to make it super inconvenient to where you're like, all right, forget it. I'm just going to gym, and that's kind of what he's talking about. But that's the power of empowering. You have to put the things that you want close to you and the things that you don't want very far away from you, and create obstacles to the things that you don't want. So, and
when you're looking at getting into a gym, I would not discredit the distance, like being closer, even if it's a little bit more expensive. That distance, if it's $10 more a month, might actually be a better value in gasoline and in frequency of you going, because it's closer. So you might get more value out of it actually for it being closer.
That's true. Like I can elaborate on that. There's a rock climbing gym that is like so amazing, but it's I think it's 14 miles away from here. It's 14 miles in the worst of Austin traffic, which is very, very weird in this.
So you're hardly ever going to want to go there.
Like it's the best. It's so nice. Like everything, it has even a built-in gym inside. Like it's a bouldering academy kind of thing. It's so cool. But like College Picker said, like it's just not going to work for me. So until they build one in the north part of Austin, it's like, my best option is to either join a bouldering type academy, which is $40 a month, which is just bouldering. And that's 8 miles down the road. Or I can join this place for $80 a month. That's 2 miles down the road.
And not have to sit in traffic and get stressed and waste gas and waste time.
So I'm sitting there going, you know what? Like most people would be like $40 a month, man. That's like cable bill, that's internet. But I'm looking at it like, man, $40 a month, I could get 20 badass like rock climbs in there, swimming. I can do all that. Is that worth it to me? $2 a workout, like absolutely. If you try paying for rock climbing, for example, it's like $20 a session. That's without the shoes or anything, right?
Yeah, and then you have to get shoes or rent shoes.
Oh yeah, it's insane. So you have to like look at it that way, like, if you want to, the power of Empower, like even down to like a physical level, proximity is going to win. Like if your gym is right down the road and exit away from you or right around the corner, that's good, right? Most people have gyms in their apartment complexes or their housing subdivisions, right? I don't like those type of gyms. They're drab, they're boring.
It's a good backup. That's it.
It's a good backup, but you do not want
to. Yeah. You don't want to use one of those as your primary, but get into the closest proximity, like a real gym.
And the reason why is because, and I could tell you firsthand, when you're new, like Bonafide, you're not going to be able to relate because you've been working out for 20 years, right? Maybe a little bit you can relate, but like for folks like me or I don't know, CP, I don't know how long you've been working out. when you go to the gym, like especially if you're early in the morning, you have like a million excuses going through your head. And like if one of your excuses is like I gotta fight traffic or like it's 15 minutes away, like I'm telling you, like,
dominate.
it dominates. Like, so try to find something close. I've got a gym that's even closer to the one that I'm actually going to now, but they don't have a sauna, they don't have a hot tub, and you've got to understand too, there's certain things that are going to motivate you to want to go as well. Like there's going to be things that want to like pull you away and things that make you want to go. Like having the hot tub and the sauna like motivates me. So I would rather drive a little farther for that versus going to a closer one that doesn't have the sauna and hot tub. So think of that as well.
Yep. When it comes down to money raking, do you have a certain amount per month that you're like, I won't spend any more than this on my body? Like, I'm not talking about diet and food, but the gym part, like the active part. What are you at?
I mean, I don't spend a ton of money. I mean, I have a bicycle that I purchased off Craigslist a while ago that I use, and I like it, you know. I know you've mentioned like, oh, buy a really nice bicycle. I just don't need it right now because I'm not like going like big into like the trails and everything with my bicycle and stuff. But you know, if let's just say I got to the point where I'm like, you know what, I want to go into the trails. I want to do some, you know, off-road mountain biking and stuff. Like, you know, I don't know if I have like a set budget. Like I wouldn't mind spending probably, you know, $500 to $1,000 for a bicycle. Like that's probably my budget. But even outside of that, I know you didn't want me to touch on it, but you know, I buy protein supplements and vitamins and so there's really no, like for me, I know it's easy to say this, but I'm really trying to align with it. There's no price tag on health, especially after what I was experiencing over the last couple of weeks. And, you know, we were talking behind the scenes, like I've gotten to the point where I realize how precious your health is. And I don't know, for me, you know, there is no price tag right now.
Yeah, my gym budget right now, I told myself would be about $100 a month, and right now I'm at $18.33. So I still have like $82 left to go that I can smoke up, man. Like it makes me feel good.
I've been researching gyms. The district of Bangkok I'm going to be living in next year, like a good gym membership is like $120. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm going to do it just because I'm going to be in a building like in a metro area where I'm working out, like mid building. I could see a beautiful scenery, and I'm thinking I could meet like
that's powerful
or influential people there because it's going to kind of weed out people that, you know, that's already going to be a barrier to entry. So I'm going to be able to meet people that speak English and might be able to help me with job opportunities or business opportunities. So
yeah. So don't be thinking like a gym is just a place where it's uncomfortable, you're going to sweat and you have to go, right? The most important thing is that you want to go, you know, you want to change your body. And as a, you know, added bonus, you might meet some incredible people that end up becoming your friends or helping you out down the line somewhere, you know? So, but I do completely support with the fact that spend up, right? Spend up and buy the kind of people you want to be around. I hate to say it like that, but like, you really have to spend up and get around the like-minded people, the right kind of people, right? If you want to change your life, you have to be around people that want to change their life. And you want to be around people that are doing it the natural way. I find that when you get cheap on the gym memberships, you start finding a lot more like artificial and fake stuff. Like you find a lot of people that are selling, let's say, steroids in the locker rooms, and people that are like working out in terrible form and everything like that. They're just trying to prove something, you know? And usually those gyms don't have many rules, and no one's racking the weights, right? It's like,
nobody was racking the weights yesterday. This kid was making me angry.
Yeah, but you want to spend up to get around the good stuff. I think it's and I say spend up, and I spent $18.33 a month. That's what I spent $633 or $667, something like that, for a 3-year membership at LA Fitness when it first opened up, Rick, and the one by my house.
Yeah.
And my wife talked me into it, and I was like, I really don't want to, because I was coming from a gym where I was paying like $13 a month. But I was like, you know what? Like, this is really important to spend up and get around really good stuff. You know?
I used to go to what was it called? Is it called Planet Fitness? Is that it? Yeah.
Oh, that's like the worst of the worst.
Dude, I used to go to that gym, and you know, I think it was fine because I didn't have a ton of money and I was on a budget. I remember, man, before I was like an entrepreneur and before the whole eBay, Amazon, like I was working at Cracker Barrel. I remember going to the gym and I'm like, crap, like how am I gonna afford $10 a month? Like that was real. Like that was real. And I think there's some people who are in that boat, right? You know, with families, and you know, some people pay $20,000-$30,000 a year for health insurance. Some people are freaking bootstrapped. I mean, it's like some people are fighting, and it's hard to find that money. I mean, Planet Fitness, I think it's okay. I think it's a good beginner's gym, but you're not going to have the nice amenities. You're not going to have the sauna, the hot tub, the pool. You're going to have limited free weights. You're going to have a lot of machines, and you're going to have a freaking bell that'll go off if you drop the weight too heavy.
The lunk alarm. Yeah. I was
But,
at Planet Fitness in Santa Fe for 2 months.
Yeah.
It was okay. I mean, it was very
Yeah,
limited,
man.
like you said, but it didn't have any of that special stuff. You got to pay up for tanning, or they did have a hydro massage chairs or something.
Yeah. You have to have the black card though.
Yeah, you had to get the black card for $10 more a month. But I don't know. It did its job for me, and it was close in proximity when I didn't have a car, so it was kind of had to do it.
It's a good starter gym, right? If you're just getting started in, there's a lot of people out there who will just waste their money. They'll go to a gym and never go. I mean, it's a good place to get started, to get into your habit, but I wouldn't sign a 1-year contract if it's possible.
I was impressed with Gold's Gym in Hollywood. There's
a
lot of machines. I mean, a lot of good machines, like a lot of free weight machines, and ones where you're not going to be like bumping into people, and then just really, really strong people there. Like Hollywood itself is a very like artificial place, so all these people are just like getting their bodies built up. So it was like a lot of built people, which was kind of motivating to see all these like 40, 50, 60-year-old guys like working out. And then it was just like a nice two-story facility, and it was in Hollywood, so
it's always going to be good.
And they keep texting me and calling me.
Come back.
Number 8 is commit to getting active by setting a goal. I think this is important, right? If you can't make it to the gym or whatever, a goal could be like, I want to run a 5K in 4 weeks, or, set a goal. A certain amount of steps per day is a really good, nice, easy goal. I would say at the very baseline, like try to join a gym if possible. But if you can't get to that point, you're too busy and all this stuff, then get a pedometer or walking tracking app kind of thing and track steps, right? Try to get yourself to 15,000 a day, something like that. Figure out where your baseline is, and then a couple days a week, like shoot twice over your baseline, and then come back to your baseline again, or adjust your baseline several weeks down the road to a little bit higher baseline, and then 2 days out of the week, shoot twice over your baseline, on walking, for example. So, but definitely set a goal, whether it's weight loss, walking. It seems like weight loss goals are such garbage these days, right? Am I the only one that can say this right now with the utmost confidence, that if you're sitting there like, I want to lose 10 pounds in a month, like this is a garbage goal. Like the only way to sustain like true weight loss is to really come down 1 or 2 pounds a week, maximum 2.
My body fluctuates over 5 pounds in a day. Like I literally weighed myself 2 days ago. I was 166. I weighed myself last night. I was 172. Like,
well, you have to weigh yourself at the same time of the day to get the most accurate stuff.
It's the same clothes, but that's what I'm saying. It was different times of day. So there's like different foods amount, different feces amount, different urines amount, whatever.
Yeah, probably. But there water amounts too, man.
Yeah,
your body's 70% water anyway.
Like creating that goal of like 10 pounds, you could just be like super dehydrated, like a little raisin on the scale, and you could hit your goal, but you'd be super unhealthy.
Yeah, like the 10 pounds thing, like, I mean, people are like, oh, I think the worst of the worst, here's what it is. I'll tell you right now, this is me being like straight up. When people make weight loss goals for like a vacation, like nothing kind of gets to me more than like someone that's like, oh, I'm going to Hawaii in 2 months, like train me, Chris. Like, no, like this is terrible. Like I don't like instilling these, like you can get the greatest results in 2 months. Like I'm not going to run you through the ringer, like The Biggest Loser on TV or any of that kind of stuff. That just is not sustainable, man. It's just not.
But could you use that as a motivation point of a start? Like,
well, I can just tell them, like, I'll just tell them honestly, like they're like, I want to lose, 20 pounds by this trip and look good in the pictures. I'm like, look, here's what's realistic. It's like 8.
Photoshop.
Yeah, realistically 8, okay, not 20. But just remember, it takes 3,500 calories for 1 pound of body weight. So you can consume 3,500 extra calories, you'll gain a pound. You can burn 3,500 extra calories, you'll lose a pound. That's kind of like what you have to be thinking all the time. So when you're snacking away or whatever, and it's the holiday season, that's why they say on the holiday season, it's average for most Americans to gain 4 to 6 pounds between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Isn't that weird? 4 to 6 pounds. And I can honestly say, like, well, I've been like bulking, but like I weighed myself the other day. I was 204 pounds.
Oh, dang.
Dude, I'm bulking, dude. I like it. But I use the holiday season. This is the time of the year where I use it to my advantage, because I'm like, I want to get to 210, then I'm going to come cutting down to like 190 or so. So Yeah. But don't ever do that unless you really can control your body weight. Most people can't control their body weight. So don't mess with bulking and don't ever do that kind of stuff. To just sit there and get fit and do something sustainable to where you're losing. If you want to lose weight, aim for 1 pound a week. Okay. One single pound, and carry that through an entire year if you can. All right. So number 9, find free clinics in town, things like Tai Chi, yoga, Pilates, park exercise. A lot of times you'll find these at coffee boards, like how do I say it? Like a coffee shop board, like little thumbtacks and everything.
Community boards.
Yeah, community boards. So look around for community boards wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're in a juice bar or whatever. There's always a community board usually. Look at that community board, see if there's anything free going on. Usually if there's something that's free, it's like for a free week or a couple sessions, and you can check out if you want it. It's like a trial thing. But free clinics are pretty interesting. There are even some yoga places in this town that are completely free, that is just donation-based only, which is really cool. But yeah, look for free clinics. Ricken, do you ever look for free clinics, like anything, even to learn something really small, or have you not done it? It's okay if you haven't. It's not a big deal. But
I'm thinking if I have or not. I don't recall, but one thing I'm looking for, a little kind of on the same topic, is I want to start doing yoga.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's good for your flexibility. And I've been losing, I was telling Chris before the show, I'm losing my flexibility. Like the more muscles that I gain, like my flexibility curve is just like declining. So I want to get into doing yoga once or twice a week.
I went to a retreat over a year ago, and I was introduced to yoga. Like I knew about it, but it was the first time I did it, and they had different activities every day. And every day we would start the day with an hour of yoga. And I thought yoga was more of just like, sitting and like meditating and different things like that. But like yoga is actually very, not only good for your flexibility, but for strength as well. Like there's a lot of poses that I couldn't do. It took a lot of like internal strength and ab strength. I don't know. Have you guys ever done like with an instructor, like an actual hour of yoga? Like it's pretty cool. And not only did it encompass it helped me mentally and like relieve stress, but like I felt a workout to an extent.
Interesting. Now, last time I did yoga, I was doing Bikram, which is the 100-degree yoga. I did it.
I want to try that.
I did it for a while, and the first couple sessions, I was like, "This is really," because you're sitting there and you can't do all the poses, and you have to like come. I didn't bring electrolytes with me, which is like a huge thing. You have to bring like 32 ounces of electrolytes, a towel to sweat on. You have to be in like very skimpy gear because you sweat your ass off. What I can tell you about yoga is that there is no better feeling I've ever felt than after Bikram yoga. Like that literally feels like you're on a drug.
How long was that for? What was the duration of that?
1 hour.
Bikram yoga, it's called.
Bikram, B-I-K. Bikram.
Is that like sweat yoga?
Yeah, it's like
hot yoga.
Sweaty yoga, very hot, sweaty yoga.
Yeah, I never heard that term Bikram, but I've heard of hot yoga.
Yeah, so it's basically the same thing. Bikram is like true, like 95, 100 degree. You have to make sure it's 100 degree, 95 degree room, but be careful. Like, don't try to ever overdo it on your first couple sessions because it's pretty
leaving
wild.
an ambulance.
Yeah, but it's awesome, man. I'm telling you, like when you get up the whole day, man, you feel like you're floating on the ground. Like
I want to mention
the weirdest like experience.
So when you're in a sauna, because I was looking at it the other day at the
totally
temperature,
different.
Sauna's like usually it's above, like if it's correctly set, it's usually above like 200 degrees.
Right. A sauna is only there to help you detox and like, get your pores open and like secrete, like getting.
So it's half as hot with the Bikram yoga. It's around 100 degrees.
But you're also compressing your body in these weird contorted ways to where you are. It's a circulation type thing. I'm not going to tell you you're going to get sore because you're not. It's not a sore type yoga. It's more for circulation and mind body like feeling.
Well, that's what I'm looking for too, especially with like the stress reduction and sweating.
You
like
will
when I
feel the circulation. The craziest part is when you're doing it, you will feel like the flush. Like they'll tell you certain poses, like hold right here, and you feel your blood going through your body. It's the weirdest thing. But that I don't. Even on actual drugs in real life, like I've never felt the same way as I do like after Bikram yoga. Like that is an incredible feeling. I might get back into it. Like I just just other things that I care about, but it's a really, really, really good feeling. There's nothing else in the world that feels like after Bikram.
That's got to be really rewarding too. If like you have if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or a husband, to do it with them as well. Cause I'm already thinking like that would be a great way to connect with my girlfriend. Cause I know she loves yoga as well.
It tends to be costly though. It tends to be kind of expensive.
Oh,
Like
the
remember-
hot yoga is expensive, but like
Yeah.
regular yoga, I do it with Rachel. I used to do it like once a week when we were hanging out together, but now that we're in different countries, it's kind of hard.
My wife used to do it, and I remember one day she was like, "Hey, give me your, Southwest Miles card because I'm going to do a year membership at Bikram." It's like, cool. So she swiped, and I was like, "How much was that?" Just nonchalant. And she was like, "Yeah, I just swiped it for $2,200."
I was gonna say like $2,500 or
Yeah,
something.
Wait,
$2,200 for a
2,500.
year.
What?
Unlimited year membership.
Unlimited year
So that's like
membership.
200 a month. Yeah.
It's wild, man. I'm telling you, like, it's cool if you have a college, like, you can do a college discount if you happen to have an ID just sitting in your wallet, But anyway, just something to look into. Yoga is really good, but it's good for flexibility. It's really good for circulation. As in a workout, you're never going to get ripped by it or anything. Like, you're not going to get like, oh my God, he's got the beach body. Like, it's not going to happen like that.
Sure.
It's for circulation and for flexibility. That is basically it, which is very, very important though. Don't fool yourself.
Yeah, but what about mind? You didn't mention anything about like
absolutely.
peacefulness.
Yeah, it's
and
great for your mind. Like you get
stress.
to think, but it's a lot. I mean, while you're in the thing, while you're doing the yoga, like there's a little bit of stress that comes your way because you're like freaking out because everyone's doing like way better than you. And everyone's like doing all these like crazy poses, like way better
And
than
you're
you.
all self-conscious.
And you can't it's like really
Holy
hard.
crap, dude. I used to be able to.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. There's that one. There's the one with the legs too, which is even more crazy. But
Oh my gosh.
you'll see. And then towards like you'll know when you get to those. It's the same exact regimen every single time, Raken. They don't do different workouts. It's the same hour the whole time.
So you get used to like the
movements and the poses, yes. So like very
chaturanga.
Definitely look into it if you get a chance. And now me talking about it, like I'm thinking about like now doing it again. But anyway,
I just found a local gym. I'm looking at the prices right now.
Yeah, there's a difference between yoga and Bikram. Like Bikram is the one that's really
I found
good.
the Bikram 1 month, $160, 20 class cards, $250, 3 months, $390, 1 year, $1,200, unlimited.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Oh, that's a great deal. Anyway, number 10. Tell others about you wanting to change. I think this is really important. Divulging your goals to other people, holding yourself accountable. Tell people that you love, your kids, your family, hey, we're going to start walking now. Like, we're just going to start doing this. Like, I'm ditching sports, or 80% of my sports I'm ditching. I'm going to go start walking a whole bunch now. We're going to parka up. We're going to get all our jackets on, and we're going to do this. And I don't care what happens. And, it's going to be uncomfortable for a week or so. But after a while, you're going to start realizing, like, you know what? You're going to start noticing random things. Like you'll be able to think better. Like you're just going to enjoy it for what it is. So, and I always like to say it's this time of the year, so it's winter, but clearly, like Eric, you're in Florida. There's no winter in Florida, right?
No, it was 85 degrees yesterday.
Jeez, man. This guy. But essentially, yeah. I mean, honestly, look into telling others about your change and everything like that. I'm telling my wife about random things in my business that I want accomplished, but that's just because I want to hold myself accountable to accomplishing business goals.
I've been telling all my family and friends. 2016 was the year of the bike tour. 2017 is going to be the year of muscle and the MCAT for me. So that's like my two main focuses.
One thing I've been doing is I've been tracking my journey of my e-commerce store in the green room and doing updates, and that's actually been keeping me accountable as well. So I think it's huge.
Yeah, David Westerhold says first thing they do is turn off the television, cut the cable. That's a really interesting thing.
That's a good one.
I would love to say like I don't watch any TV, but I'm a sucker for like good sci-fi, and I love certain good shows that are on Netflix and stuff. But I have cut my cable. That's gone. But I did buy a huge TV the other day, so sorry. I do like a good movie. I just do, but I don't like paying movie prices like at the theater. Like
you said you bought a new TV?
Me. Yeah, I did.
Talk about that.
It's just a really big TV. It's a 65 like 4K, like really cool 240 hertz, like really good TV. It's really nice.
Beautiful.
But
did you hustle it, or did you pay full price?
I timed it right because I know like when you buy TVs, it's such a saturated market now that people like TV discounts are so abundant, right? Especially at this time of the year. But
TVs are just so cheap in general right now.
Yeah, there's a time that you time it right before Black Friday, like a week before Black Friday, statistically the best time to buy a TV. So of course I saw Costco having a crazy deal on this TV a week before Black Friday, and I was like, you know what, this is probably the best it's ever going to get. That being said, technology changes so fast when it comes to TVs, computers, and all that kind of stuff that, you think you're getting a great deal, and then of course 2 years down the road there's like newer, better stuff. But
8K.
this one can process 4K video. It doesn't clip, which is really important. It doesn't clip on motion, which is like my main pet peeve on people's TVs, is that if there's anything motion based, like it clips. Oh, I hate that. So this one doesn't clip. I made sure, read the reviews about it, all that stuff. It's a great TV. We probably will end up hanging it on the wall one day, but essentially, let's get back to number 10, telling people about your, wanting to change. I think it's really, really important to not just keep your goals inside, but to divulge them and tell people all about them. That's what's good about the Green Room Life, I think. In fact, we had a post yesterday. Did you guys see it from Mr. JH? We'll just say it as JH. But there was a huge post. I mean, paragraphs and paragraphs. And the funny thing is, I think it started off with like, I don't want to like make this too long, but it was actually really long. And I read through it, and it was a person that's, really, really overweight, making changes in their life. And this is like a proclamation, like, this is what I want to go. And he's showing 300 people. That's how many people have in the Green Room Life right now. Green Room 330 told 330 people about this. I mean, talk about being vulnerable and like, who cares? Like, I'm going to do this. Like, that's what he's doing. And he's trying to lose about 100 pounds a year or something like that. And I thought that was really interesting. Anytime that anyone in the Green Room Life posts anything like that, I think we always welcome it with open arms. And I scrolled down to see the comments, and I was just, this morning when I woke up, it was the first thing I looked at. And I scrolled down, and there were like 13 comments of people like, wow, and like sharing their weight loss journey. Like, you can do it, man. Like, all this stuff. The person, I think, is a trucker at nature. That's the job. So you can imagine how much sitting down is involved with being a trucker. And, there comes a point in everyone's life where they go, you know what? I know there's something better out there for me, right? I've been living this life for too long. Like, I want to try a different life. I want to have a different me. And I think you guys can do it out there, but you're going to have to try. You're going to have to take some of these things, these 10 things that we talked about. You're going to have to put some of these things in action, and it's going to be uncomfortable. Any way you look at it, none of this is comfortable. I remember
being the skinny guy in the gym is not comfortable.
Like,
being the fat guy in the gym is not comfortable. But if you're in the right gym and you have the right mindset of, I don't care, like, you're going to get respect from people. And if you don't get respect from people, you don't want to hang out with those kind of people anyways. You don't want to be associated with those kind of people.
Yeah, it's true, man. So, everyone's got goals. And my goals now might not be my same goals in 2 years. Raken's goals right now, his proficiency in lifting and experiencing life, I mean, it just evolves into something that you make it your own, But essentially, we wanted to thank you for being on this, for everyone to come check out this show. We didn't get in the comment feed too much, but we did want to get through these 10 things I thought was really, really important. If you are not a part of the Green Room Life, just remember, it's our subsection group of the Green Room, which is our money-making group. But check it out down below, greenroomuniversity.com. And as an added bonus, the Green Room Life page. You can get into that. Now, if you're in the Green Room and you're not in the Green Room Life, shame on you. You should be in that group. It's an amazing group. A lot of people, and I think with January coming around, there's going to be some interesting type of like sustainable competitions coming around. And we're not going to do like 1 month weight loss challenge. We ain't doing that. Like, we're going to do something sustainable and awesome. In fact, let me cap off this show with one thing. Last January 1st, you guys know that I did something every day until today. Or until the end of this year. That's my plan. I've done something every single day. You guys know what it is, right?
Red.
It's called Red. Ride every day. I told myself on January 1st this year that I was going to ride every single day for a whole year. Now, I'm going to be really honest with everyone out there. There were probably 9 times where I got on a bike and I went up and down a parking lot a couple times, and I was like, that's my ride. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, there were about 9 times. A couple of those were in Colorado. Sometimes life is just too much fun to where you forget about the riding, and you're like, the other thing I want to admit is there was one day that my life was just too chaotic. Like, there's just too many things going on. And I remembered the next morning that I hadn't ridden that day. There was one day. It was like September 26th or something like that. And it bothered me to no end. My wife pointed at me. She's like, ha ha, you didn't ride every day. So and my brother did the same thing. We joke around, but it bothered me so much that morning, as soon as I figured it out, I was like, oh my God. So I did a ride that morning. Later on that day, I rode twice. Yeah, so I rode twice. So to me, I did it. But in reality, I didn't. It really bothers me. But I'm still doing it every single day. Honestly, next year, am I going to do it again? The answer is no, I'm not going to. And there are many reasons why we can get to it in another show. But I'm not going to do it next year. I'm going to do something a little bit different next year.
If you traveled overseas, you would be done, because that's already like a day pass where you can't ride.
Dude, you're getting really technical now. But essentially next year I'm going to make it something different. I'm going to call it sweat every day. Like I'm going to do something that makes me sweat every single day.
So it's
It cannot be gym either. It cannot be lifting weights. So it has to be outside of
Just start
the
sweating.
actual thing. Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting. I don't know how it's going to play down. I know I'm going to end up getting like pretty cut and ripped from it because to sweat every single day is going to be tough. It really will. I can't say with the utmost confidence that I've sweated on every one of my rides, but to sweat every day, like I'm going to see if I can do it. Anyway, so thanks. What's up, Rakin?
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool, man. Might be a new trend you start.
Yeah, I got to sweat every day, man. That's my next thing. That means I can like do anything I want. I can go skateboarding. I can do whatever. I can go rock climbing. I can do that as long as I am pouring sweat. Like that's the most important thing. So that's my next year goal.
You want it to be pouring sweat.
Yeah, I cannot just be like, oh, Brooke, sweat, cool. Gonna go inside and watch some games. And like, no, it's gonna be different. So,
dude, I sweat like listing stuff on Etsy.
Yeah, but you have to pay your AC. You have to pay your power bill, man. Like you got to like. Anyway,
it's
you're
hard.
also you're in Florida, dude. It's 85 degrees. Like everyone's sweating. Like it's in Florida. Everyone else right now is not sweating right now. Like it's cold. Like
I'm shivering.
Anyway, Reagan needs to get to the gym. You know, I worked out right before this show, and I think College Picker is going to work out after this at some point. But thanks for watching the show. Like I said, find us in Green Room Life. Make sure to check out greenroomuniversity.com down below, and we can pretty much help you out with anything. Take it easy, guys. Next time, next Tuesday, we'll have another one. It should be really fun. Take it easy.